You found Flemeth's grimoire? Ever since we discovered the condition of the Mage's Tower, I had wondered if it might be recoverable, but I had yet to speak of it to you. How fortunate that you found it on your own. You have my thanks. I will begin study of the tome immediately. Secrets. My mother has many. One time that they were able to get away from her. I do not intend to squander this opportunity to learn more than Flemeth wished me to know. This should be interesting.
I've a question, if I may. Well, here's the thing. I swore an oath to serve you, yes? And I understand the quest you're on, and this is all very fine and well. My question pertains to what you intend to do with me once this business is over with, as a point of curiosity. Could I? And what if I didn't wish to? Indeed. I might even be glad to call myself such, come to think of it. It is good to know what my options might be, but that is for another time. For now, we have much to do, yes?
Something on your mind? Of course. Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you? Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills. You're telling but a pot's more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky. I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens, is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I would never... He was. A good man who didn't deserve his fate. That much I'm sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest. Rest would be welcome. Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken. Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time. But there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done. Oh, no. I'm not the sort of person that leaves things unfinished. I'll see this through, I promise. Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower? Ah, yes, Connor. Of course, saw an abomination. My blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most. Every mage is vulnerable, no matter how accomplished or powerful. That is the first thing we learn, and overconfidence can lead to recklessness. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone, replaced by madness. And there is no turning back, or at least that's what they say. Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured. Or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity. Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
Yes? What can I do for you? Well, I've served in Cousland Castle for years, since my own father sent me to squire there. My father is a minor lord in the Bannorn, but our land is little more than a glorified farmstead. I do miss it, though. The valleys of the Bannorn are beautiful this time of year. I took great pride in serving the town, and I wanted to become a general in the army. Still, if I had the option, I wouldn't hesitate. I imagine joining the Wardens is the highest service one can render. Yes? What can I do for you? Of course. This is hard for me. I have never seen such little mercy towards the fallen. When we were dragged outside, I regained consciousness and saw many wounded, but nobody was allowed to tend to them. The Jarl's general pointed at the ones that needed desperate help and made the soldiers kill them mercilessly. They killed men, women. Many of the surviving women were brutally beaten and raped by the soldiers. Men were forced to entertain the troops. It was horrible, utterly horrible. There was no dignity for anybody. Everybody was abused. People who were still able to walk, servants, they were forced to loot and burn the bodies of the dead. People they knew, friends and family. I do not think he cared at all. He stood there giving orders to his generals. He then went inside while the nightmare took place. The screams, that's what I remember the most. The screams of the women. That crosses my mind every day, my friend. And the time will come. But for now, we have another task ahead. We should try to rest now.
Yes? If you must. You are very cute to ask so many questions. And I am glad you are so glad. My mother has been hunted for Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more. I am unsure. I was too young to understand, and perhaps 'twas bravado on Flemeth's part, or perhaps she was merely amused. I would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. Began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait, a little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom. The wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum. Perhaps they doing what they believe is necessary. The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the Circle of Magi as apostates, and apostates could become maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true to prefer freedom, see no reason to submit. An interesting answer for a mage. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.